Well, the basis of the complaint is largely on the disciplinary regulations, which applies to a number of persons involved in football, including the players, which is the key issue here. So that sets out behaviour which is acceptable and not acceptable, and that is the basis of the complaint that we're going to be filing.
And in your opinion, this behaviour does breach those rules?
Yes, absolutely. It breaches the rules of non-discrimination, not bringing politics into the sport of football, and not behaving in a manner which is ethical, consistently with the statutes of UEFA.
And what about those who say, yes, but this was done away from the stadium, it was a celebration back home? Could that be a mitigating factor?
Yes, it's an argument to have, but the nexus with the event is very strong. I mean, this is a continuation of the match, of the celebration of having won the tournament, and they were there in their capacity as players of the Spanish national team.
Can you just tell us about the process that's involved? What needs to happen now, and what is the sort of outcome you're hoping for?
Well, the process is fairly straightforward. I mean, what we're doing now with leading counsel in London is preparing a draft letter of complaint. So this complaint will set out the grounds on which we consider that the players have breached their obligations under the UEFA disciplinary rules, and then that will go to the relevant committee in UEFA, who will assess the merits of the complaint and take whatever action they consider is appropriate. The statutes and the regulations set out a series of penalties for the various offences which are committed, which can go from suspension to warnings. I mean, there's a very long list of possible outcomes.
You mentioned London there, and I know that you have a very strong relationship with the English FA. We've seen a lot of support in the English media for Gibraltar. What about at the FA?
No, we haven't been in touch with the English FA. I mean, they've got their issues, obviously, as well, with the resignation of Gareth Southgate. So I'm sure they're very busy with that. This is a matter for us. It's a matter for the Gibraltar Football Association. It is something which, as you can imagine, we take extremely seriously. We think this is very, very wrong, what has happened. So we are, as a member association of UEFA in our own right, we are pursuing this complaint in our own right, on our own behalf, and with tremendous determination to get this wrong rectified.
I know you also have a very strong relationship with the Spanish FA. Have you had any word from them about this at all?
Same answer to my previous question. That's whatever action they consider appropriate is a matter for them.
I'd like to ask you, in your opinion, if this sort of behaviour goes unchecked, what impact do you think it will have on, you know, the national team, on fans? You know, if this sort of chanting and behaviour, which has come from the players themselves, not just fans, what will happen if that's unchecked, do you think?
It's a very good question. I've been thinking about that, and also related to that is the level of education that players get. I don't know what processes are in place, whether it's at club level or national team level or association level, but these players, they've got to understand that they are role models, especially for young children, and therefore they have a responsibility. And I don't know whether they are fully aware of what comes with that responsibility, because this has to be stopped, because one of the most tragic things about what happened in Madrid is that there were many, many young children listening to their heroes saying these things. What is that going to do? It's going to perpetuate the prejudices which are old, which are from the Franco regime, and there we go again, another cycle, another generation of Spanish people being brought up with the same obnoxious sentiments.
Well, that brings me to my final question, which is, as someone involved intimately in treaty negotiations, you know, there's been talk in the past about a new modern relationship between Gibraltar and Spain, and here you are evoking the Franco era, you know, as a result of those chants. What does that do for trust? Because trust is a fragile thing at the moment between our countries. What does that do? How can people have confidence in this new relationship that you're trying to forge?
Well, I think the answer is simple. I mean, this is 2-3 individuals. This is not an institutional issue. It's not an institutional issue at the level of the Spanish Football Association.
Mr. Llamas, I'm sorry, but we did see a member of the royal family. We've seen the mayor of Madrid also support this behaviour, saying, well, it's what we all think. So it isn't really just two people. It really is a wider issue, isn't it?
Well, the chants came from 2 people, unsupported by any institution, and that is the focus of our complaint. Wider than that, I mean, the Spanish Minister for Foreign or for Sports, I think it was, came out saying that it's only the Spanish, stating the obvious, that it's only the Spanish government that sets the Spanish foreign policy, not 2 football players. So our focus is on that. I do not seek to extrapolate what's happened beyond that. What they did is very wrong. We are going to pursue this complaint, as I said, with complete determination and focus it on those who were responsible for it. Look, if in the days that come, we see actions or reactions which we don't like, it may be beyond the competence of the Gibraltar Football Association if it were to become more political. But as far, I'm here to speak on behalf of the GFA, as president of the GFA. So what we're seeking to do is to rectify the wrong which has been done by those who we consider were the perpetrators of what happened, which are the football players in question.